A problem ignored is a problem multiplied. I love that quote. It's a great quote. Everyone has problems. Every organization has problems. And you know what they are, don't you? You know what they are. Everyone knows what they are. And yet we do tend to ignore them. Why the hell do we ignore them? Well, sometimes they're just too big to challenge. We call these elephants in the room, don't we? They're the problems that people know are there, but we don't wish to talk about. We just kind of ignore them. And sometimes they're not elephants. I mean, an elephant's pretty docile as far as some creatures go, you know, especially if it's a tame one. What if it's a dragon? What if it's a black bear? Instead, it's that if you go and poke it, it'll bite you or breathe fire at you. So there are some big problems and some tough challenges. And sometimes, yeah, it's understandable that we wish to ignore them. And yet these are the things which hold back our organizations. And nearly everywhere where I deliver training, there are elephants in the room, and they start to manifest themselves in the training. There are things that we don't talk about. Usually cultural, leadership, managerial, attitudes, behaviors, and so on, things which are tolerated. So the latest place where I've been to, the elephant in the room there is a lack of willingness to challenge. They don't challenge each other. Things are going wrong, things go badly. They don't give each other feedback. There's a fear of conflict. So that's the elephant in the room. Just this fear of conflict from top to bottom, an unwillingness to challenge each other. And well, a problem ignored is a problem multiplied. So, you know, while you don't fix that problem, it's going to continue to create symptoms, isn't it? The longer this thing goes unsolved, the more it's going to cause you all kinds of disruption and little niggles which need sorting out. But also some problems amplify with time. The longer you let it go. I mean, for example, let's say you overeat too much. That can be a problem I've had certainly in my life. Now, if you overeat by, say, 200 calories a day, 200 calories is not a lot, it's 2 slices of bread. It's like, if you do that for a year, you're going to pack on a lot of weight. Like, if I tackle this today, I won't have put on the weight. If I tackle it in a year, I've got like a stone to lose. So, you know, sometimes they amplify themselves. And just think about behaviors. Let's say you've got a middle manager or a department manager who doesn't take safety anywhere near as seriously as some of the other managers. Just think of the effects that has culturally within that department. You know, the longer that manager behaves in that way and talks in that way and makes decisions in that way, the longer the people underneath that manager are slowly going to be corrupted. And it's going to be hard once that manager is removed or once that manager changes their ways. It's going to be very hard to turn the oil tanker around and start to change the culture. It's like the longer you allow that to be an issue, the harder it is to fix. But here's the problem. So everything I've said so far is pretty obvious. The problem is this, is that we are surrounded by problems. Where the hell do you start? Where do you start? We have issues in your personal life, issues in your, say, your marriage, your family, issues with your neighbors, your friends, work, and then the wider world, you know, politics, COVID, climate change. Like, where do you start? We are limited human small creatures, and we can't fix all of these problems. The only thing you can do really, I think, is to prioritize. Prioritize the problems. Attack the problems which are quickest and easiest to fix, the ones that are within your control, and the ones that will give you the biggest bang for your buck. It's almost a risk assessment, isn't it? It's like benefits, quickness and easiest. The quickest and easiest ones to fix, which give you the biggest bang for the buck, are going to be up there kind of in this top right quadrant, aren't they? They're like that. They're what we call the low-hanging fruit. Go for those things first. Don't try to tackle huge problems straight away, which will take years to fix, and where the chances of success are quite small. And sometimes the danger to you professionally, you know, if you're trying to take on an MD who doesn't take on safety very seriously, there's a good chance you're going to lose your job at some point. You know, so maybe those are not ones that you should immediately try and fix. Go for the quick wins first. The ones that are a lower level. Try those first, but eventually you'll run out of those. And when you run out of those, well, then you've got a choice to make. Do you face those elephants in the room? Do you face the dragons? Or do you just give in and accept the status quo? And that's where we sort out the mice from the men, the wheat from the chaff, and so on. Anyway, fox poo on the ground, don't want to stand in that. Catch you later.